After a hard year, things are finally looking up for Memphis's restaurants. And one thing we know about Memphis is we love places to eat out that are homegrown. And you're going to notice that as a theme tonight. As Jennifer Biggs, the food and dining editor for the Daily Memphian, joins us. Jennifer, first let's talk about the reopening of Bryant's Breakfast, a true mainstay that had hundreds of people literally showing up in line for everything from their famous biscuits to those cinnamon rolls. It was something else.
Bacon, eggs, all kinds of things. Richard, I got there at 9 o'clock. They opened at 5 a.m. yesterday on Wednesday. And by 9 a.m., they had baked 2,000 biscuits. 2,000 biscuits. Can you imagine baking that many biscuits? Boy, she kept them coming. I said, can you stop and talk to me about this for just a second? And she had her mask on, but her eyes said it. It was like, are you crazy? I don't have time to talk to you. I'm cooking all these biscuits. Anytime they get cold, they're gone. They get rid of them. Every biscuit you get from there comes out of the oven hot. So there was a line of people. They were waiting to get in. They were ready to eat Bryant's again, for sure.
Well, it's good to have Bryant's back, for sure.
Yes.
You had a story earlier this week on the next challenge restaurants are having to face as we get back to normal. And, of course, that's finding enough staff. Owners blame unemployment benefits that make it easy to stay home. Is there any introspection that maybe we need to pay our restaurant workers a little more money?
There's a lot of talk about that, but it's not just unemployment, as I talked about in the story that people can read on the Daily Memphian. It's also a lot of restaurant workers left for distribution jobs. E-commerce is very big. We have Amazon, we have Nike, we have Williams-Sonoma, and of course we have FedEx here too. So people want to work at jobs like that, and restaurants have a real hard time being competitive with that wage. As Barry Peltz at Corby said, if I want to start somebody out paying $17, $20 an hour, you're going to be paying $10.50 for a barbecue sandwich. And what will it be? I mean, restaurant workers are to be better paid, and most people feel like that's going to happen. The consumer is going to have to pay more for food as well.
Yeah. Well, finally, let me ask you about a story you just posted online, how even Chez Philippe, a five-star restaurant at the Peabody Hotel, is having to make adjustments in this tough staffing situation.
Can you imagine that you would ever walk into Chez Philippe and order a $15 hamburger? You could get a $150 hamburger at on the 150th anniversary, and that stayed on the menu up until COVID. But this is just hamburger. You can go in and get a burger and a beer if you want to. And that's a temporary measure. The reason it's that way is because, of course, a hotel has to have a restaurant, and it was easier to keep Chez Philippe open because it's the same kitchen that does room service. So for now, you can go in, you can get a burger, you can get a club sandwich, you can get entree, you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. But when Capriccio reopens, right, then it's back to normal.
Chance to brag on your friends and say, hey, I went to dinner at Chez Philippe. They don't have to know you had a $15 hamburger, right?
You can do that.
Right,
it's a good so you can have a great time.
Very good. Thank you, Jennifer. To read more about all of this, go to thedailymemphian.com, and you'll see Jennifer's stories about Chez Philippe, the restaurant worker shortage, and the comeback of Bryant's Breakfast. Food and dining editor with the Daily Memphian, Jennifer Biggs, thanks for being here, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, Richard.